What's up everybody, it's Critical. I really can't say thank you enough to each and every one of you that subscribe to me on YouTube. To have over 1 million subscribers is something I never ever thought would happen. 7 or 8 years ago I started making videos purely for fun. I still make them purely for fun, but I never thought I would have a big following or anything on this website. So it's really hard for me to put it into words just how special it is to me to have the kind of support you've all given me. But what's even more special than just the number of subscribers is what we've been able to accomplish together. 2 years ago I decided to get partnership on YouTube with the intention of giving all the money that I would be making from YouTube to various charities. And now 2 years later, we've been able to donate over $50,000 to a lot of good charities. And I feel like together we've actually impacted the world in some small way. I feel like thanks to all of you, we've actually been able to make some type of very small difference in this world. And that means everything to me. So I truly mean it when I say thank you. I say we because it's not me that's doing this, it's all of you. All of you are making this possible. So thank you, I can't say it enough. Now, honestly, I don't really know how to celebrate hitting 1 million subscribers. I truly don't. So the only thing I can really do here is, I guess, answer more questions that a lot of you have asked me. And I'm going to do something that I never really planned on doing, which was talk a little bit about my life. Because ever since I started making videos, people have wanted to know about my life. But I never really wanted to talk about it. But I'll talk about it a little bit here. Not much. So I'll start with that. I live a pretty standard life, actually, but I'm gonna start from when I started playing video games. The first game I played was Wave Runner on the Nintendo 64. I was pretty young, and I loved it. And I've been playing games ever since, and I'll always play games. I'm pretty much mediocre at everything I've ever done. In school, I didn't get good grades, I didn't get bad grades, I got mediocre grades. Basketball, I wasn't the best point guard, I wasn't the worst, I was mediocre. I'm really the most average person in the fucking world. I can juggle, but I'm not very good at it, I'm just mediocre, I can do it. I can do magic tricks, but I'm not the best at it, I'm mediocre. It's kind of sad actually, fuck. But it isn't sad, like shit. I can learn to do anything. But I will never excel at it no matter how much work I put into it. And that's fine with me. I like just being able to dabble in a bunch of different shit and not be a connoisseur at it. That just sounds so fucking depressing when I say it. Holy shit. I'm a really big hypochondriac. I am always worried about my health and having some type of really ridiculous ailment. And that sucks, but I'm trying to work on getting better about that and not being a hypochondriac. Some of the theories that float around about me, I'll debunk right now. I'm not some jacked bodybuilder. I'm not some fat homeless man. I'm not a distorted dystopian nipple machine. I'm a pretty average dude. I'm in good shape. I don't stand out in a crowd at all. If you met me in real life, you'd have no idea I was critical. And not before people fucking accuse me of voice things again, no. My voice sounds exactly the same in real life as it does here, it's just I don't talk a lot in real life. I really am very shy. I don't talk to people I don't know that often. I like to meet new people though, but mostly I meet those people when I'm drunk. Yeah, I don't really know what else to talk about in terms of my life, and I realize I'm not even talking about my life right now. More talking about me as a human being, but it's because I don't want to talk about where I grew up or where I'm living right now or my childhood or anything, because it's all pretty standard. There's nothing really special about it. I really fucking hate talking about myself too. I've said that before. I still absolutely hate talking about myself, so this is going to be all the personal information I reveal about myself, so I hope it's not disappointing. And now I'm going to move on to the questions that I've been asked a lot, and a couple of these I've avoided. For instance, this first one. Why is my YouTube channel named Penguinz0 when I call myself Critical? And that one's easy. When I made this account a long time ago, I had no intention of making videos. And so I just chose my favorite animal at the time, and made it look stupid, and then, I don't know, I rolled with it. But then I started to see videos on games I liked, and I was like, you know what, I kinda want to get in on this action, so I started making videos, and then I started making commentary. And at that time, I just changed my gamertag on Xbox Live to Critical. So I started calling myself Critical in the commentaries, and I just really liked the name Critical, so I've kept it. Next question. Why do I spell critical wrong and put a number in it? Well, when I made that gamer tag on Xbox Live, every other variation of critical was taken, and I really liked the way it sounded. So I really wanted it, so the only way to get it was to make it look like a fucking 8-year-old made it. And so be it, I don't really give a fuck. I still like the way that name sounds, actually. So, that's why it looks stupid. And yeah. There's 2 questions down that I've avoided for a long time. The next one is, why are all of my videos' descriptions very similar? And why is the A and T in all time capitalized? Well, this one is a lot less... There's a text message. This one is a lot less thrilling. It's simply tradition. I did it one time on a Battlefield Fun Tactics video. And since then, you know, I just figured, you know what, I can fucks with this. So I just kept doing it for all of my videos, at least most of them, not all of them. Some of them I don't put that, but the vast majority of them, yeah, I'll keep that going. The next one, what is my favorite video game? Or actually, you know what, I'll answer this one, I'll kill 2 birds with 1 stone. What are my top 5 favorite video games? Alright, I don't have a 5th favorite video game, I can't decide on one. My 4th tie between Final Fantasy 7 through 10. My 3rd favorite game is City of Heroes. 2nd, Halo 2. And 1st, my favorite game is Psychonauts. Next question. What is my favorite movie? The Mummy and The Mummy Returns. They are the apotheosis of cinema. They are flawless in every aspect. They are perfect. Next question. What type of music do I listen to? I like just about anything with a guitar. But I also do like some rap. Rap that doesn't have a chorus. I like rap that is just the rapper just spitting verses. I really like that shit. But yeah, the music I most listen to is metal and just anything with a guitar, really. Next question. Why don't I want anyone to know what I look like or know anything about me? This one's kind of deep. This one's a little difficult here. I just think it's better that way. Each one of you makes up your own face for me when you see one of my videos. That face you make up's gonna change now, because you know a little bit more about me. Well, my entire power just went out. I don't know how my computer's still fucking on. It's probably the surge protector that's beeping at me. Well then, I can keep answering this question. Unless, of course, this isn't the surge protector and it is in fact a bomb that's about to blow up. That would be really unfortunate. Oh, there we go, it stopped. I don't know if you could hear that lightning. Hopefully you could. That was something right out of Zeus's asshole. It looks like it hit my fucking place directly, but my computer's still going, so I'll answer the question still. But yeah, that face you conjure up's gonna change a little bit now, because you know a little more about me, but still, I feel like that makes my videos a little more fun, a little more unique, because you make up your own person for who's making the video. And I don't know, it's just something different. So, yeah, that's why I keep my identity and shit a secret. That's probably going to be all the questions I answer, actually. This is getting to be a long video. There's just one more thing I want to talk about. I've shown 3 games. Holy fucking shit, that is rattling the earth. This is a storm of apocalyptic proportions right now. My goodness. Yeah, the 3 games I've shown. The first one is Tenertia, and I'm showing it because... Okay, you know what? This has destroyed my train of thought right now, this fucking storm. I'm showing these 3 games, including Tenertia, since I've already singled that out for some reason, because recently I've been reaching out to indie companies that are releasing games that I think look good, about voice acting for them, potentially, and a few of them have gotten back to me. These 3 are among those. Tenertia, I'm not gonna have any role in, but they were just so fucking nice, and their game is a lot of fun, so I put it here. And the other 2 games are Anima, Gate of Memories, and this one right here that's being shown right now is Void Expanse. These 2 I might have a role in, so I just wanted to show them because people want updates on my voice acting pursuit, and this is the latest news I have, so I've got a couple more possible roles in voice acting, so you know, I'm happy. I'm getting there. And yes, the footage is of me playing all 3 games. I know I'm absolutely abysmal at them, but I want to tell you all again how much I appreciate each and every one of you. I've read every single message you've ever sent me, and I thank you for those messages, and thank you so much for subscribing. But the thing I want to thank you all the most for is helping all of these charities. Now I know some of you are probably thinking you don't deserve a thanks because you didn't directly donate to those charities. But that's just not true. You absolutely deserve a thank you. Because without you, over $50,000 wouldn't have gone to those charities. You were instrumental in helping those people. And that absolutely deserves a thank you. Now I plan on making a lot more videos for a long time to come because I'm still having a lot of fun making these videos, and that's what it's all about. So again, I just want to say thank you so much. See ya. What's up everybody, it's Critical. I made a video today and it was taken down within 2 hours for sexually explicit content. The video is called How Bud Light is Made, and I don't regret making it. I intended to blow the lid wide open on how Bud Light is produced, and I stand by that decision. Now let me tell you why it was taken down. In order to properly explain how Bud Light is actually produced, I needed to show urine being transferred from human penis to container. Now I didn't want to use a real man pissing into a glass or something because that's just crude and inappropriate. So I found an animation for urine sample collection. It's on YouTube, the animation is there, and I just used a clip of that to show part of Bud Light's process. And it was taken down for sexually explicit content. Now I do understand YouTube doesn't want nudity on their site, but I want to point out just how inconsistent they are with this. But before I do that, I would like to let you all know that I have re-uploaded How Bud Light is Made onto Pornhub, so if you do want to watch it, it's there for you to watch. I'll put a link in the description. So you can head there if you want to see the video YouTube and Bud Light doesn't want you to see. There's even a typo there, just like real porn. Now one more thing before I talk about how horrible YouTube is at enforcing their policy. I hate this message they gave me. I understand the point and that's totally fine, but don't make me say I acknowledge in order to get rid of it. Don't treat me like I'm a fucking toddler. Oh, Rutherford, you should know better than the shit on the floor. Tell me you understand that's wrong. Yeah, Mom, I understand that's wrong. No, just give me an okay. Just let me hit okay to get rid of that. Treat me like a fucking adult. I know it's a small thing, but it was something that really poked a hole in my condom. So I'm sure you're all aware YouTube has a no nudity policy, unless that nudity is for an artistic purpose or an educational purpose. But why am I getting ass blasted? Why are they being the cream to my pie just because I put an animation of a urine sample that showed a grown man's one-eyed snake? Just because his womb broom is there and it's CG, does that not make it art anymore? Who's the judge? I think it was artistic, and if it wasn't artistic, it was definitely educational because I was teaching people how Bud Light is being made. But I'm not really here to argue that. Instead, I just want to point out that YouTube is absolutely horrendous at enforcing this policy. They're very inconsistent with it. There are thousands of videos on YouTube that are just porn, and not even all of them are under the guise of art or education. They're just blatantly porn. For instance, 2 women perform yoga on the beach together. It's just 2 naked women doing yoga on the beach. They're not teaching anything, and it's not artistic. But if you do think it falls under one of those 2 categories, I won't argue. But here's one no one can dispute. Sex Guide. It is 55 minutes of full-blown, full penetration, gland-to-gland combat, mashing pissers, anal invading porn. It's not a guide, it's not educational. Yeah, at some parts a girl that sounds like Mavis Beacon will do voiceovers saying stuff like, yeah, they're really getting down to business, oh, there's an orgasm. But it's not educational. And then there's shit like this that doesn't even try to be artistic or educational. This is just a video of a topless girl smoking. That's it. But that's there and that's fine. The uploader even says the video was taken down and then put back up. What the fuck changed? It's not censored. So obviously YouTube didn't deem it artistic or educational the first time. How did he argue either one? Oh, you know, the tits and the marijuana amalgamate to form a lesson in friendship. Why the fuck is this allowed to be up, but the clip of a CG peeing penis gets a strike on my account that I can't risk appealing because if I lose, then I lose so many features of my channel. Now, I know a lot of you are saying, well, maybe their system's just flawed like their copyright system, which is absolutely atrocious, but this is a case where YouTube inspected the video and said, okay, yes, this deserves to be on our site, but we'll age restrict it. Why the fuck couldn't my animated wiener just get the video age restricted? Why did it need to be fucking taken down and a strike on my channel when there's something like this that is real nudity, not even poorly animated like my urinating meat hammer was, is allowed to stay up and encouraged to stay up by YouTube? And there's so many more cases of this. There's hundreds of thousands. This video right here is legitimately a porn video that was taken from Pornhub and put onto YouTube, and that video is absolutely okay too. It's just age restricted. It makes no sense. I just don't understand. So, YouTube really fucking sucks at enforcing this, and they're very inconsistent with it, and it's not even a poor system because some of them actually just get the okay personally from YouTube's inspection team of beavers or whoever's doing that for them. So I stand before you a moist man, and a man with a question. Where's the fair wiener? I think it's about time we're allowed to show a CG wiener urinating into a cup. I think it is that point in history where we stand up and say, you know what, enough is enough. I want to see a wiener pissing into a cup for this educational purpose. Don't let Bud Light put the squeeze on this information. Don't let YouTube take it down and censor it. Don't. It's time this video goes back on YouTube to stand as a milestone, as a point in history where we stood together and said, where's the fair wiener? This would kill two birds with one wiener. Bud Light would be exposed, and we would be allowed to see all of the animated wieners pissing into cups that we want to see. I think it's time we enter that golden age. See ya.
What's up everybody, it's Critical. I'm gonna be talking about even more shit. Let's do this shit. The footage you're seeing is me trying to sail during the world's most powerful hurricane. The game is Sail Simulator 5. Now I'm sure you're all aware that YouTube changed its policies regarding gaming related videos, and I just wanted to let you all know what that'll do to my channel. Now it's not gonna affect the type of videos I can make, because I don't do Let's Plays, and the people that do Let's Plays are the ones that are gonna be affected the most, so I can keep making the same videos I make right now. But what is going to be affected in terms of what I do is the amount of money I donate to charities at the end of each month from YouTube is going to be significantly less. Because when they implement this monetization review process next year, it is going to slow down income for the people that generate revenue from YouTube. Now, from what I understand, this monetization review process can take a few hours or a few days, and while they're reviewing your video, it's still a live video, so people can still watch it, and YouTube's still going to make money off your video, but you're not going to make money off your video until they approve it and say, yes, it abides by the terms and conditions. Now, I could be wrong about that. Maybe I misinterpreted it, but that's how I understood it. So if that's the case, that is going to drastically reduce the amount of money I'm able to give to charities each month, and that is a fucking shame. Now, what's also ridiculous about this new policy is the copyright claims that are going out to a bunch of channels right now. Those copyright claims will destroy some channels. There are some people that use YouTube as a full-time job. It's their source of income. It's how they survive. But this new Content ID system will destroy their livelihoods. The Content ID system will send out copyright claims to people who do Let's Plays or incorporate trailers into their videos or use gameplay footage in their videos. Especially if they use music, they're going to get a copyright claim. And when a video gets copyright claimed, the channel can't monetize that video. So then the people that make like Let's Plays or videos reviewing games or doing a walkthrough of a new game, they won't be able to make money off that anymore. So those channels are just going to vanish because those people are going to have to find some other way to make money. And it's just absolutely absurd. But YouTube's not going to change this policy. They're just not going to. It's a fact. They don't need to. YouTube will not lose a single user from this policy change. No matter the backlash, no matter the negativity, YouTube will not change this. They just don't fucking care. Because YouTube has no competition. There's no alternative. No matter what YouTube does, everyone's gonna stay using it because they have nowhere else to go. Google knows that. And that's why Google Plus is still here. Google Plus is broken. And even if it wasn't broken, who the fuck wants Google Plus? But they don't have to do shit about it because there's no alternative. Competition is the best thing for consumers, and until there's an alternative to YouTube, YouTube is still going to be this pile of shit it is right now. And now is the perfect time for someone to make a viable, user-friendly alternative to YouTube. If that was there, they'd get a lot of users. I guarantee that. I know I'd go over there in an instant because YouTube is just troublesome to use, hard to navigate. Some of it just flat out doesn't fucking work, but it's not going to get fixed, it's not going to get changed. Because it just doesn't need to. YouTube's basically a monopoly right now. People keep using this site no matter what. Until there's a viable alternative, YouTube's just gonna be this leaking anus son of a bitch asshole it is right now. And that's about it for that topic. Another thing I wanted to talk about is some of you may remember I let you all know I was getting sued by a woman who faked an injury after an accident I was in last year. Well, that's all been resolved, and she'll be walking away with roughly $75,000. Luckily, it's not coming out of my own pocket. I had insurance and it was under coverage, but originally she wanted some ludicrous amount, some astronomical figure, like $200,000 for a 20-mile-an-hour accident. Luckily, the insurance got it down to what they got it down to, but this girl went through so many unnecessary, risky surgeries from a corrupt doctor to justify the suing. It's absolutely insane. Out of the $75,000, realistically, she'll probably pocket about $10,000-ish of that. So I hope all the trouble she went through was at least worth it. And I'm just happy it's over with now. Now there's one more thing I want to talk about real quick. Some of you send me messages from time to time asking how my quest to become a voice actor is going, so I just want to give you a little update on where I am there. I still haven't landed a voice acting role, so I'm at the same point I was about 3 months ago. It is a really, really fucking hard industry to get into. I still think it'll be fun, and I'm actively looking for auditions. If there's any indie game companies out there, or animators, or anyone looking for a voice actor for a project, send me a message on YouTube. I'd love to audition. But now I'm getting sidetracked. I'm sorry about that. I was just making this video to let you all know what this policy is going to do to my channel. I didn't go into depth about what the policy change really is or does, because I'm pretty sure most of you know a lot about it. Most of you probably know more about it than I do, to be honest. But I just wanted to inform you all that I'm going to be able to keep making the same type of videos I've always been making. I haven't been getting any copyright claims, which is good. And yeah, Google can massage my scrotum. And Google Plus can go fuck itself. Yeah, that's it. See ya.
Hello there. This is something many of you are not going to want to hear, but I think many of you really need to hear. My dog's even tearing up about the story I'm about to tell. It's a true story. It all happened a week ago. It involves 3 characters. An innocent nail supply warehouse managing supply guy, an insurance man, and one man who just happened to be in the area looking for a nice opportunity. Last week, an innocent nail supply warehouse burnt to the ground. $800,000 worth of nail supplies vanished in an instant, just like that. Everything changed when the Fire Nation burnt down the nail supply warehouse. But luckily they were covered by insurance, so the nail supply warehouse was just fine. They got recouped. Insurance man made a deal. He was happy. But then there was one man, the X factor, the variable no one could have counted on, who just happened to be in the area. Maybe he was buying lottery scratch-off tickets, who really knows? No one knows the man's true motive for being in the area at that time, but he saw an opportunity to pick up all the inventory that they could no longer use, and they were covered for, so they just wanted to throw in the dumpster. And he said, you know what? Maybe I could have that. And according to all the sources I can find, he took all of the remaining inventory of the nail polish, the nail drying supplies, all types of shit. I'm not too familiar with nail products myself, but he took it all. Now, what exactly is the life lesson to be learned here? Well, it's as they say. One man's incinerated pile of shit is another man's treasure. But what exactly is the lesson to be learned here? Honestly, I really don't know. But I have a fucking ton of nail supplies. Each one of those boxes has another 500 of those motherfuckers. Yippee.
So tell me again about how you almost ruined Christmas with that fat shit.
A classic Christmas tale as old as time itself. Well, this one goes out to all you Christmas enthusiasts out there. Gather around your fireplace, put on your best bathrobe, and just cuddle on up as I tell you this timeless tale. A tale Dr. Seuss would be afraid to tell you, but I'm not. I go where Dr. Seuss never would. So, I'm not a religious man by any means. I've seen Rick and Morty. I've been wubba-lubba-dub-dub to enlightenment. Rick Sanchez has opened my third fucking eye, you know? But Tiana's family is moderately religious, so they go to church every Christmas Eve. And I was very hungry, so before then Tiana had brought me, I guess, whatever the fuck she found in the dumpster on her way home. It was just like 2 pieces of burnt charcoal and mulch that was slapped between stale bread and covered in motor oil. But I ate it. I was so hungry I'd eat the asshole off of a farmer. Not that farmers have notoriously filthy buttholes or anything, but it just serves to illustrate that I was extremely hungry at that given time period. So I ate the sandwich. Upon finishing that unholy abomination of what some people would call food, I suppose, I could immediately feel a fat shit cooking deep within my rectum that was going to send 2018 out with a bang. I only wish I had more time to evacuate my ass before going to church, but we were cutting it close. We were down to the wire in the fourth quarter, and I didn't have time. We needed to get to church because the service was at 4. It was like 3:35 when I finished eating whatever she pulled up from the soil on her way home. And I knew that this was probably going to be how I died. I thought it was going to be an absolute disaster. It felt as though God himself was exercising my asshole. I was going to shit out all of my Christmas spirit. God himself would smell it, and he would frown upon what he had put on this earth. His creation disappointed him. My shit was going to be outrageous, biblical, and it was going to be in the house of the Lord, a holy place. But for just a moment, I let the devil into my colon, and it was rearing its ugly head. Lucifer was going to infiltrate that church, and his portal was my butthole. And so I was cooking up this hard stomach aching, big shit ready to rock and roll, and we got in the car. I was being a trooper like a champion. I hopped in the car, and Tiana's dad was fucking drifting around corners, which didn't help. I was just getting the juices flowing, fucking scooting in sideways to church right in the nick of time to make it to the service. And at that moment, that church wasn't a church. That was a fucking battlefield. That was a war zone right there, an active war zone. And I knew I was about to drop something the toilet would never forget. The church bathroom was the shores of Normandy, and my asshole was the ships carrying the soldiers, and it was about to be an all-out charge. And I knew I was probably going to ruin Christmas. I knew this wasn't going to be like a short shit. This was going to be like a overnight camping trip of shitting. I could feel it the whole way. I knew what I was dealing with. I'm a shit connoisseur. I've shit a lot in my life. And I knew what I had ready to rock and roll. And I didn't want to just disappear for the whole church service because it means a lot to Mr. and Mrs. Tiana parents. So I felt really bad, but there's nothing I can do about it. Anyway, I go in, and it's like a Christmas miracle out of a fairy tale. The second I sat down in the pews with the church manuscript or the schedule, whatever the fuck is going on, the basketball roster, whatever the fuck they talk about Christmas Eve for church, as soon as I started reading that, I didn't have to shit at all. The Lord pulled the shit from my colon for just that moment, and I made it through the entire service without taking a fat shit. And that's how Christmas of 2018 was spared in the Pennsylvania area.
And how many songs did you sing at church, Charlie?
0 songs. I'm surprised the church wasn't singing to me. Hey, he did it. He didn't fucking poop himself over there. Yeehaw! Holy night. Silent charting over there.
What's up, everybody? It's Critical. I wanted to go ahead and do my little yearly answering questions / emails video. But before I get into that, I want to say thank you all so much, both for the emails you've been sending me and the support you've given me on Patreon. I honestly just can't say thank you enough. I really didn't expect that type of response on Patreon at all, and I'm just absolutely blown away by the support you all have given me. So thank you so much. I know I never really talk to you all, like my subscribers, directly, but I just want you all to know that I really do think of each and every one of you as a close friend. I'm going to go ahead and answer some questions from emails now. The first question is, do I shave my asshole? I definitely feel this question begs for an answer, and I feel like I should answer it. So, there's not like a real clear-cut answer to this one because I don't separate my ass cheeks and take a razor to my anus, but I do sometimes find myself exploring that vicinity with an electric razor. Now, it's not like I plan on going there. I don't bend over and instantly put the electric razor there, but when I shave my pubic region, which I absolutely need to do, otherwise it looks like Chewbacca's armpits, I'll use an electric razor and then, sometimes start heading south towards the taint. Once the taint's cleared of whatever lawn it was sprouting, I'll sometimes go towards the asshole. Never in the asshole, but around it. Like grinding on the ass cheek. So I'm basically just getting rid of the hair that's sticking out. And the reason for this is simple. Sometimes when you take a shit and you have a lot of hair around that area, it'll sometimes get caught in there, like sloths hanging from a branch, and then it just takes a lot longer to clean yourself. So really, sometimes I do it for convenience. So the answer, simple answer, yes. More complicated answer, yes. Next question. Have I ever been recognized in public by my voice?
Yes, it's happened one time in my life. I was at Target. I don't remember what I was buying. Knowing the weird shit I sometimes come home with from there, I was probably buying a noodle pal and a coloring book. But anyway, the person who was checking me out said, "Hey, you sound like this dude." And I was like, "A dude, hey? I'm a dude. What dude?" And he said, "This dude." And then he said, "Critical." And I was like, "Oh, that's interesting." I got super awkward about it, really shy, and I started playing with my nose for some reason. So he probably thought I was some real fucking creep. And then I just left. So yeah, it happened one time, and I didn't know how to respond, so I damn near pissed myself. Next question. Do I have any history or experience in the medical field? I don't have experience in the medical field. I never worked in it, although my major in college was human performance. So I learned a lot about anatomy and physiology and how the body responds to exercise and shit like that, but no, I never practiced it professionally or anything like that. Next question. Am I a good singer? Fuck yes. I'd like to think so. But objectively, no. I'm actually a pretty horrible singer. Next question. Do I like to travel? Traveling in itself is fun, as long as I can do it by automobile. I absolutely am terrified of flying. I cannot fly. I've flown about 3 times in my life, scared, assless every single time. The last time I went flying, I was sitting next to an old woman, grabbed her thigh instantly, right when we were taking off. Just grabbed her thigh. She must have been alarmed, but she was very nice and played it off cool. But when we were getting in the air, I damn near just looked right at her and started screaming in her face. Flying is just not for me. Next question is one I've been getting a lot recently. Why don't I just drop my partner network? I can't. I've looked over the contract quite a few times now, and there's no way I can actually drop it, at least not in the way I want to. Even if I broke the contract, it really wouldn't matter. So I just can't really get out of the partnership contract thing. Next question. How do I decide on what charities I donate to? I usually do a lot of research on specific charities that I think have a good cause. And if the research comes back is the money they spend goes to the cause they're supporting, then I usually donate to them. And I check a bunch of different websites. I don't just go to one, so that's usually how I figure out if it's a charity worth donating to. Next question. You said you write lyrics. Do you write music too? Nope. I tried one time. I downloaded FL Studio and gave it my best shot. Really toyed around with it for a few hours. But when I had finally finished with what I thought was going to be the next huge club song, it sounded more like a recorder being used as a dildo. I kind of gave up on making music after that. This will probably be the final question I answer in this video. Will you ever sell merchandise of any kind? No, I don't think so. That's just not something I'm interested in doing at all. So nah, I don't think I'll do that. I didn't get asked very many personal questions over the last 7 or so months. That's probably because I answered most of the other personal questions in older videos. Not vehicles. Yes, you can find that answer in the Ford Explorer over there. But I read through all of your emails, and these questions were the ones that came up most frequently, especially the asshole shaving inquiry, so I wanted to answer them. I also made this video because I just wanted to tell you all how much your support means to me, and I just wanted to give you all a big thank you. I'm extremely lucky to have all of you with me. Hopefully I answered all the questions you all wanted to have answered, and yeah. That's it. See ya. If you've been around the channel for a long time, you might remember that I used to make one video a year where I'd address all of the most common questions that I'd get for that year. It was a big event, people looked at it like a second Christmas if Santa Claus was a greasy, gamer-gunked little goblin. And I don't do that anymore these days. I've buried that tradition because I stream every day on Twitch, so I'm always answering the most common questions anyway. And since it's Twitch chat, I'm always answering the same 3 questions over and over again. It's like in fucking 50 First Dates with 10-Second Tom. But just like last year, I thought it might be fun to do it on YouTube as well, because obviously not everyone's going to the streams. It's their loss, they're missing out on a few extra inches on their penis, but what am I gonna do? I'm not their dad, I can't force them. So why not just answer those common questions in a YouTube video so that way everyone's caught up on the lore. We'll start with the one that's been getting asked a lot recently, which is about the kitty. Yeah, I recently got a cat, and not because I'm a bandwagon follower. I know a lot of other YouTubers also got cats. This was actually a cat that was left behind outside of a PetSmart in a box that Tiana and I just decided to help nurse back to health, and eventually just decided the cat's too cute to not keep. And a lot of people have been wondering if we finally decided on a name. The answer is no. And that's because we still don't even know the gender of the cat, which has been making it pretty hard to come up with a really badass name that would strike fear into the hearts of other animals. As I mentioned before, the cat was unfortunately born with a birth defect in its ass. I forgot the name of it, but fundamentally, like, the colon doesn't really connect to the anus, or it's extremely narrow, and it's a very serious problem, but we did get the surgery and the cat's been doing better, but because of that, it's been really hard for any vets to properly gender the cat. I didn't know this, and maybe because I'm a big fucking stupid idiot, but cats don't have, like, visible testicles when they're that age. I just assumed all cats were hanging dong, but I guess that's not the case. The proper procedure is to go into the ass to figure out the gender of the cat, which, because of the problem the cat was born with, has made it really difficult, so we still don't know the gender, so still haven't really decided on a name. This next question is one that I've been asked every year, a million times a year, since I became a little more open with all of you with my face and a little bit about me. It's, why are you so short? A real brain-bustin' goofy one. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm just cursed. I got unlucky. Osmosis Jones stunted my growth when I was 14. I don't know what you want from me. I don't know why I'm short. It's not like I enjoy being short. I'd prefer to be taller. I think that'd be great. But it's something I have absolutely no control over. Someone gathered all 8 Dragon Balls and made a wish that I'd be 5'6", and god damn it, that's where I've stayed since I was like 16. It is what it is. Me going outside and angrily shaking my fist at the clouds isn't gonna do anything to help me get taller. I don't know why so many people ask so many questions about me being short. I suppose I'm just a circus freak at 5'6". I don't know. But I've answered this every single year for like 6 years now, and I can't wait to do it again next year. While we're on the topic of repeat questions, this is one that I also always get asked is, why am I so negative? I just disagree. I'm not negative, pussy. You're the Debbie Downer, not me. I'm not negative about things. I just am not like a completely brain-rotted zombie consumer who just accepts everything with a big smile on my face and like says it's perfect. The things I like have flaws. So even my like favorite things, like The Mummy, my favorite movie, I know is not the best movie ever made. There's plenty of things wrong with The Mummy, which I can point out and still appreciate the movie as my favorite. Like, I just subscribe to the belief that nothing's perfect, and you can always talk about the shortcomings or flaws and things that you might like. You don't have to just write off, any problems with something you enjoy because you enjoy it. You can still talk about them while also still enjoying it. I just don't think I'm negative. I really don't. I'm not looking for the bad in things. I just talk about the good and the bad in things as much as possible. Unless, of course, it's an extreme case like Fantastic Beasts: Secrets of Dumbledore, the newest one, then it's all bad and there's nothing good. Despite my best efforts to locate even just a single iota of decency from that movie, there's nothing. Not even the Lord could forgive that cinema sin. That goddamn movie is a stain on Hollywood in general. That movie is fucking atrocious. The best thing that can be said about the new Fantastic Beast movie is that it ends. So, besides that, I'm just not negative. Yeah, maybe I can admit that in the heat of passion I may rant about things I don't like the Halo show, another extreme example. But even when I'm playing in the pig pen and rolling around in the septic tank that is the Halo TV show, I also do find a couple of things to compliment, such as a few action scenes. So again, I disagree. I just don't think that I'm negative or always looking for the bad in things. Next question's a little rapid fire round here because it's a quick one. What's in the Pokemon frame behind me, and what are in these 2 frames? In the Pokemon frame, it's all of the first edition base set Shadowless, so all 16 holos there, including Charizard. I got all of them damaged, so they were super cheap, which was great, but I think they look wonderful in the frames, and I think grading cards is a scam, so I don't care about their condition. And then in these 2 Yu-Gi-Oh frames over here, these are all the Ghost Rares first edition, and these are all the Starlight Rares first edition. Next question's another one of these in the bar bathroom quickies. It's, will Godslap ever have an anime? So as you know, we posted the God Slap animation, which is basically just the first 15 pages that we had animated by Sikowski Studios, the same studios behind Skynet, and we did it as just a promo piece and proof of concept, and a lot of people have wondered, will there be like an actual full animation for it? And the answer is, we hope so. As you might recall, we did mention that we had a pitch with Netflix at some point, which is still on the table, and I guess we'll see how that goes. We'll probably also take it elsewhere. And let's be honest, Netflix is desperate for something that's not dog shit. And I promise you, God Slap is the furthest thing from dog shit. So if you're watching this, Mr. John Netflix, perhaps God Slap could be your savior. I know the stock prices aren't doing amazing, but they could be with God Slap, perhaps. But back to the core question, we want it to be a fully animated series that runs adjacent to the comic books. However, we can't do that ourselves. We don't have that kind of budget, so we're hoping that we can partner with a streaming service in order to do that. The next question is about Moist Esports. It's, what is Moist Esports' grand plans? Like, what are we trying to accomplish with the org? And I think a lot of people are still under the naive impression that Moist Esports is just a joke throwaway project, but that couldn't be further from the truth. Moist Esports is something that I and the entire team are taking extremely seriously. We want it to become an actual legitimate Tier 1 org. And I honestly think we're getting pretty close. We're knocking on the door. We are the danger. In fact, just today, our Rocket League team won both their series and guaranteed themselves a spot in the London Major at the end of the month. We have one of the best Rocket League teams in the world. We're also guaranteed a spot in the Rocket League World Championship coming up in August. So we have one of the best squads in Rocket League. We have some of the best fighting game players, best Smash players, best Guilty Gear, best Brawlhalla, and we recently got a Splitgate team who's also one of the best. So we've got a whole fucking lineup of superstars here, and yes, we do want to expand into other games like CSGO, Valorant, Dota, League, all of those big staples, the games we enjoy watching and would love to be in, but right now it's a little too expensive for us, but we do have those plans down the road. It's something we want to do. We're extremely hungry, and the only thing that can satiate our appetite is giant fucking dubskis, huge world championship wins. And this leads directly into the next frequently asked question, which is, can I join Moist Esports? Absolutely fucking not, you swine. Moist Esports will find you. We're like Nick Fury. We recruit in the shadows, and only the best in the world. But I do always really appreciate people that get excited about Moist Esports and show interest in like wanting to compete for us. It really is meaningful. This next question is one I'm also pretty sure I answered at some point, but I can't remember if I ever did it in a YouTube video, so I'm just going to do it again to be safe. Why is Moist part of like my name on everything? And it all started in college. I got a Wii U. Yes, I was one of those fucking suckers that was scammed into buying a Wii U, and I bought it for my friends and I to play at our dorm. And I had to come up with a cool name for our little me avatar, and Nintendo has extremely strict profanity filters, so I couldn't make anything too, like, outrageous, and I eventually came up with Big Moist, because I thought it sounded silly and stupid, which was the vibe I was going for with the name, and I ended up just really liking the name Big Moist. So then I ended up making my personal Snapchat account Big Moist, and so my friends would use that name when talking about like the Wii U and me sometimes, and then I just ended up just really liking the word moist for everything. So that's how that spawned what it currently is today. This next one's actually kind of deep, and it involves a time in early college that I've talked about a lot where I pretended to be a mysterious anime character and it failed me socially. I became such a weirdo that people were afraid of, and I'm asked, how did I finally get out of that? How did I, achieve self-awareness and leave that disgusting arc in my anime behind? How did I get over it? And the answer is I surrounded myself with actually socially adept people. So in my early college days, I commuted to college. I used to just go from my house, my parents' house, to college. And I didn't spend a whole lot of time around a lot of people because they were rightfully fearful of me because I adapted such a weird image where I wouldn't talk to people and I'd scare them. I'd put the fear of God in them. But coming around into like late sophomore year, I decided I was going to live on campus because I thought it would be good for me to be constantly surrounded by other people so I could absorb their social information like a fucking sponge. And it worked. I got lucky enough to room with random roommates that all happened to be like actual party-going, popular people, and I was able to learn from them. Fucking taking notes in the bathroom like a dweeb, coming up with how partying works, and it ended up breaking me out of this anime zone that I had trapped myself in. So I was able to escape it not under my own power, but because I made the decision to learn from other people and surround myself with people that were better at socializing than I was. And they were actual angels. They were nice enough to take me to parties with them as like their little Padawan, and I was able to suckle from their bosom and learn from them. I'm forever in their debt for being nice to me and actually taking me to parties and to meet people and stuff. Because without them, I would probably still act that way in public, like that loser I was in the first year and a half of college. Let's pick up the pace here, increase the BPM. Will I ever fight in a YouTuber boxing match like Creator Clash 2? No. I don't feel confident fighting anyone over the age of 12. I don't want to get hit. I'm afraid of getting hit, but I'm confident that I could beat anyone 12 and under because I think I could just have a flawless victory where I would be able to brutalize them without them actually being able to land any hits on me. Next up, why am I afraid of flying? Well, it's because if something goes wrong and the plane crashes, everyone dies, and that doesn't sound turbo cool to me. It sounds pretty awful. And I understand the statistics. It's pretty rare for something like that to happen, but it doesn't change the way I feel about it. I'm still afraid of it. Another easy layup here, why am I not afraid of horror games? And it's because I've played so many of them, I just never really get unnerved anymore. I never get startled by jump scares, except for very rarely. But that doesn't mean I don't enjoy them. I still find horror games to be silly and fun sometimes, but yes, I don't get scared by them because pretty much every modern horror game that gets released is a carbon copy of every horror game before it. Almost all of them these days are walking simulators where you're collecting different pieces of lore or different keys or different pieces of a puzzle in order to escape something while being chased by something. It's all the same formula that I've seen a million times, so by now I'm just pretty numb to it. It just doesn't scare me, and it never really has, except for when I was younger. I'm sure there's quite a few questions that I missed, but these are the ones that were top of mind for me, so I imagine these were the most common ones. But if there's anything I didn't get to, I'm sure I'll answer it on stream tonight anyway. So anyway, yeah, just wanted to do one of these again because I think it's always at least fun to just go over questions that people have. And yeah, that's really about it. So yeah. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's that special time of year again where we peel back the curtain, I take off the condom, and I answer your most asked questions of the year through Twitch chat, through email, and YouTube comments. I just kind of make a mental list of the most asked questions. So let's start with the first one. Do you still play Recorder? You tell me. How tall am I? I'm 5'6", the optimal male height. It's what God envisioned for our species. Anything above 5'6", it just seems silly to me. Why would you want to be taller than the golden height? It's the height. I fucking hate being short. Here's one that I absolutely hate, but I have to acknowledge because it truly is probably one of the top 3 most asked questions of the year. What is your favorite meme? Fucking hate meme and meme culture. I think it's all just super god awful and lazy. I just don't even understand the point of memes anymore. They're not even entertaining. They don't even get like an exhale from the nostril anymore. They just seem fucking silly. Odd flex, but okay. And god fucking meme. I hate that shit, but I have to acknowledge it because I answer the most asked questions every year. So what is your favorite meme? The only meme that I appreciate in any capacity is the oppressed gamer meme. I've answered this multiple times and even made a video answering it again, and yet I'm still getting emails about it, so I'm going to answer it yet again. Where do you stream now, since you haven't streamed on YouTube in a while? I stream on Twitch now. But wait, I thought you fucking hated Twitch. Yeah, I had a lot of problems with Twitch, the majority of which they've been actively improving on. Meanwhile, YouTube is devolving and fucking its own ass in all possible aspects. So I do all my streaming on Twitch now. See, even Tetra's tired of this fucking question. Listen to that. So yes, I stream on Twitch now. No, I don't hate it anymore. It's a lot better than YouTube streaming. Again, I will post a link to my Twitch in the description of this video. Next big question I always get asked, and this one I get asked all the fucking time, and again, this is one that I've answered before. What is your favorite type of porn? Lesbian porn. I'm a man of exquisite taste. What can I say? Lesbian porn offers by far some of the best in the business. It's hard to dispute that fact. Yeah, you can have like your weird kinky fetishes where there's something with like rubber squeaky toys being shoved in the buttholes and whatever, but on the whole, and I'm not talking on the asshole, on like the general statement, lesbian porn, in my opinion, is the best that gets made. Next big question, is there going to be more wetware, new wetware selections? Yes, there is. And there is right now, actually. There's hoodies and shit. There's a lot of new wetware available, so if you do want to get wetware, I'll put a link to that in the description as well if you want to check that out. Do you edit your own videos? For the most part, I edit all of my own shit, which is why it all looks like 2008 era shit, because I'm a really bad editor. I don't have a special effects degree. I'm not in contact with Marvel Studios effects team or anything, so it's pretty bare bones, just syncing, trimming, and then putting it together. It's about it. However, the podcast gets edited by Jackson, and the Moist Meter also gets edited by Jackson, which is why the two of those have a bit more production value and don't look like some middle schooler's portfolio or first time with Windows Movie Maker. I forgot to mention this one when talking about Twitch. This is one that I'm asked probably more than anything else. This, I would say, is the most frequent question of the year for me. Will you be playing and or streaming huge name game coming out soon? Yes, I will most likely be playing and or streaming the huge game that you have just asked me about. I've got G Fuel in the veins. What can I say? I'm a hardcore, elite, top tier gamer, barbarian, assassin, guru. I play the majority of new games that come out. I always have. I stream a lot of them too. Maybe not all of them, but I do, for the most part, play the majority of the new games. So yes, I will probably be checking that out. What advice would I give to a college kid? I don't know why I'm always turned to for advice when dealing with college matters and the social aspect of college, especially after I already made the video talking about how I spent an entire year of my college life, my freshman year, pretending to be an anime mysterious guy who was one step shy of having his nipples pierced and wearing assless chaps to appear different and unique. I don't know why people would turn to me for the social aspect of advice in college, but regardless, the advice I would always give someone is don't be weird. Don't be weird. Now, don't misunderstand what I'm saying. I'm not telling you not to be yourself or to just be like some carbon copy cloned of every other fucking douchebag in college. I'm saying don't come on too strong and fire on all fucking cylinders. Go in there full mast, full erection, blood pouring to your throbbing member, gloating about your favorite hentai to someone you're just meeting for the first time. Ease your way into someone's life, find commonalities, common ground, small talk, and then, go from there. Just, I guess it's less of don't be weird and more of don't be so overbearing. Well, I guess just don't be weird. I still think that's the best fucking advice. Don't be weird when you're first starting to meet people or trying to carve out your own identity in a new space. This is one I don't really understand, but I'm always asked. Are you ever going to do more of the real series, real videos? And I don't get that because it's not like I ever stopped. I just don't call them the real and then product name. They're just infomercial dubs. The only reason I ever called it the real series is because I was too fucking lazy to individually name those videos. But now I name them. Nothing has changed. I still make those. I just don't call them the real because it's a stupid fucking name, really. Why are you afraid of flying? As most of you know, I'm afraid of flying. Why am I afraid of flying? Well, it's fucking scary to me. The thought that if something does go wrong and it can't really be fixed in the air by the pilots or anything, I'm super fucked. There's not a whole lot I can do in that scenario to help myself. My seat can be used as a flotation device? Oh, fantastic. That's splendid. I'll make sure to cry into that as the plane fucking explodes. Oh, an oxygen mask, huh? Oh, great. I can stay conscious a little while longer as the plane fucking nosedives so that I can continue to see it coming. Fantastic. There's just not, it's the lack of control should something go wrong, and the lack of anything else to prevent it. Like, I'm helpless in that scenario. I can't, hop onto the wing of the plane and then, take, a fucking master key to it and start turning gears or a wrench to it and start fixing shit. I'm fucked. It's over at that point, and I hate that thought. Just having it be entirely in someone else's hands, and should it go wrong, being completely powerless to try and fix it. And it also being 100% fatal should it go wrong. It's fucking scary. Flying is scary. You're insane if you fly. You're a fucking mad lad if you fly. I respect you. I respect that a lot. I can't do it. It's fucking scary. I've done it 10 or so times, and it's fucking terrifying every time. Another big question that I get asked every year, why is my YouTube channel Penguinz, what I call myself, Critical or Charlie? The channel's 12 years old-ish. I made it when I was very young. I didn't put a whole lot of thought into it, so I just called it Penguinz because I like penguins. I still like penguins. And then it was Critical because that was my Xbox Live gamer tag. Well, I changed my Xbox Live gamer tag to that, and I like the sound of it, so I went by that as well. And then Charlie's my actual name. So I got a lot of fucking aliases out here. I'll answer one more big one. Why did you give blank this score on the moist meter? It's truly the best thing humanity's ever made. How could you possibly think it was anything under 100%? The moist meter fucking sucks. You fucking suck. Fuck you. Well, I gave it that score because I thought that's the score it deserved. That's typically the story behind it. There's no, like, hidden meaning behind it. I just kind of try to grade it objectively speaking. Or I guess you can never really be fully objective with things. You're always going to have your own personal biases in there, I suppose. But I do my best to keep it objective. And I thought that's the score it deserved. I'm sorry to have spit on your beloved property, but one thing I've learned, when you start reviewing something, you open yourself up to such hostility from the fanboys of that area. For example, the best one I can pull from immediately is Rockstar. People blindly follow Rockstar games and will always support them no matter what type of anti-consumer business practices they employ, and even if the games really aren't as good as they made out to be. Red Dead Redemption, I gave an 80% to because I feel like that's what the game 100% deserves with its shortcomings and its incredible innovation in the field. I think it's a very good game, a game that I would highly recommend to the majority of people. But because I don't grade things the way the other journalists do, where everything gets a 90 or 100 these days to appease the super angry and super fickle gamer culture, people target me like, oh, this fucking guy just wants to be a contrarian. Oh, he has such shit taste. He's obviously just doing this for views, even though like the score's not publicized in the title, so no one would really know unless they had already clicked on it to see the score. But regardless, it's a shit argument. The point I'm making is, in today's day and age, you're not allowed to criticize something, and it's just sad because even if you have valid criticisms, it doesn't matter because people that are a fan of who the studio or the property itself take it as a personal insult and will never see those complaints as anything other than just edgy or contrarian for the sake of being contrarian, which is sad. And journalists really they enable this type of behavior by just giving these scores away. You'll be hard-pressed to find scores in 2018 for games that are below an 80. Nearly everything is an 80 to 100 in 2018. And I'll tell you right now, every game that's come out this year is not in that ballpark. Not even close. So, I guess to answer the question, why did you give it this score? It fucking deserved it, in my opinion, for sure. Well, that was this year's yearly answering questions video. I hope I answered the question that you've probably asked at some point. I hope I covered most of them. That's it. See ya. What's up, everybody? It's Critical. About 2 months ago, I mentioned in a video that I had OCD when I was growing up and throughout my teenage years, most of my teenage years. And since then, I've been getting a lot of emails and questions in general about how I was able to get rid of it or at least keep it under control. So I wanted to talk about that. So this is for anyone out there that has obsessive compulsive disorder, and I hope I can help you out a little bit. So my universe got ass blasted when I was around 12 years old. I started having these routines that I needed to follow or else I just didn't feel right. And then eventually these routines evolved into these rituals that I absolutely had to follow and could not break. And they were very weird rituals. I mentioned one of them in that video 2 months ago, but there was at least 100 different rituals. I had to sleep in a certain position on my bed. I couldn't even go to sleep unless I put on the movie National Treasure every fucking night. So I had that movie run every night for 2 years, and I'd just fall asleep during it. And God forbid if that CD ever got scratched, I just wasn't sleeping that night. I also had to make certain facial expressions when I was watching porn. This isn't a joke. And it had to be the same porn video. I watched the same porn video for I don't know how many fucking years. And I had these set times in that porn video where I had to make a certain expression or else I just couldn't jerk off. I'd have to take a 5-minute break and just let myself recuperate before I could go back at it. It was a horrible time, really. I mean, I'm kind of laughing at it now, but then it was horrible and I was miserable. At first I thought it was normal behavior. I thought to myself, well, I'm sure every young man out there is making fucking Regis Philbin facial expressions like he's on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire every time they're trying to choke the chicken, so I didn't think anything of it. But after a while I started to think, this really can't be normal. I don't want to live in a world where there's a bunch of people doing these stupid rituals that I'm doing. So I googled it and narrowed it down to 2 possible ailments, the first being obsessive compulsive disorder, and the second a faulty wireless router. I thought I could confidently scratch off the latter, so I was left with OCD. Then I had this debate with myself if I should go see a professional about it, a therapist, because I was almost 100% sure it was OCD. All the pieces just fell into place like a jigsaw puzzle of anus. But then I thought, they're probably going to prescribe me medication, and I didn't have a lot of faith in the medication a therapist would have prescribed me because I thought, One, the medication would either perpetuate the illness further, and I would have to keep going back to them to get more drugs that would cost my family a lot of money, and it wouldn't even solve the problem, and I definitely didn't want to do that. Or two, would make it worse, because I had read that shit sometimes makes it worse, and I definitely didn't want to take that chance. I don't even know how it could have gotten worse. I guess I would have just had to follow like a specific set of steps every single day and never deviate from these specific walking patterns. I have no idea how it could have fucking gotten worse, but I didn't want to take either of those chances. So I thought it would be best for everyone if I just tried to figure it out by myself. Now, I was really good at hiding it. None of my friends knew I had OCD. No one knew I had OCD outside of my family, and even my family really didn't know the extent of it. They only knew some very small bits and pieces of it. And I feel like a lot of people with OCD are really good at hiding it, so you would never know if somebody actually has it. And that means that they don't ask for help, and I didn't either. But looking back on it, it really probably would have been beneficial if I involved some people in helping me get over this. But I didn't, and I eventually did figure out a plan that got it under control and pretty much got rid of it. So I looked at it in a big scale. I knew I was in control of my actions. I knew I was the one doing these rituals. I was making this conscious decision to do these things, and I was in control of that, nobody else. So I knew I couldn't just break these rituals, get rid of them all at once. I had to go in small steps in order to do this. So I started to break them down into smaller rituals. I started to break them down piece by piece, making them just a tiny bit shorter than they were, or eliminating some very tiny things. And the first one I really targeted was one I had with eating. I had to eat a meal at an exact time every day. I had to eat each meal at an exact time, and you started to make bargains with myself. I would eat this meal a little bit sooner or this meal a little bit later, and that was the first thing I really went after, because that was something very small that I could control every time. So I started to change the meal times up, and once I started to get those more flexible, I was eating meals 30 minutes sooner or whenever I felt like, then I started to go for the bigger ones and make those a little bit shorter. Instead of sleeping in a specific position on my bed, I would move over a little bit, or I would do this, or I would do that, stuff like that. The National Treasure one I had already gotten over because the DVD actually did break, thankfully. So after 2 years of being hostage to Nicolas Cage's acting in that movie, despite it being a pretty decent movie, I was finally free of that one. So that was before really I knew I had OCD. But with the sleeping habits, I managed to just convince myself to sleep in different positions, different sides of the bed. And I just started making these little changes to my rituals, and eventually I made the changes bigger and bigger and bigger until eventually I could convince myself to just not do the ritual at all. The ritual was so short and consisted of so little things. What's the point in even doing the ritual? And I was able to do that. I was able to just not do the rituals, and now I don't do any of it anymore. Now, there are still a few remnants of my OCD that I just cannot seem to get rid of. For instance, my YouTube profile picture has been the same negative 50p image for the last 7 years, and I just cannot, no matter what, convince myself to change it because I feel it would just cause such a discomfort to me. And a few other little things that are still reminding me of OCD are still there because of OCD. But for the most part, it is completely gone. I don't struggle with it anymore. I'm not miserable because of it anymore, or miserable in general. And I know how hard it is to ask for help, especially if you have embarrassing rituals, but it's really, that's the best piece of advice I can offer you, is to ask somebody for help in breaking the rituals. For instance, I would have loved if I asked somebody to make sure I don't do this specific component of a ritual or something like that and make sure I stick to it. That would have definitely made it easier, and I probably would have gotten over it a lot sooner. Overall, I just hope me talking about the subject and sharing my experience with OCD and how I got over it helps somebody out there come up with a plan, or inspires them to ask somebody for help in getting past it and getting rid of it, or keeping it under control, or something along those lines. So hopefully this helps somebody out there. And yeah, that's it. See ya.
What's up, everybody? It's Critical. The footage you're seeing is from Boys of Valor. It's just them kicking back on a couch and talking. But like the back of the box says, it's animated fun with a message. And I'm delivering a message now. Another talk about my life, I guess. This will be probably the last time I talk about my life, at least within the next year or so, because I don't like to make a lot of videos talking about myself personally. But I thought this was necessary, so a month ago I made that video about how I've hit rock bottom and I'm at the lowest point in my life, but I'm trying to be optimistic because my girlfriend broke up with me and I just couldn't find a job, still can't find a job. But since then, her and I have been trying to work on things. Like she started talking to me again, and then we started to work on things, and everything was really good.
and she was talking about moving in and marriage and stuff, which was, it was really sweet, and it felt like things were back to the way they once were. But today I found out she's been fucking another guy while we've been trying to work things out to be together again, and it really, really hurts. But I guess the reason I'm making this video is, one, because talking about my problems makes me feel a little bit better about them, and two, I just kind of want to share with all of you what I want to accomplish in my life. And a long time ago I made that video about how I have the naive goal of ending corruption, which everyone knows, including me, that probably will not happen. But I like to shoot for the stars, but that's not all I want to do. I want everyone to know my name. I want my name to be remembered. I want to be remembered. I want to be remembered as someone who made a positive impact on the entire world, and I want everyone on the planet to know who I am. I don't care if they know me by Critical or by my real name, Charlie. It doesn't matter to me. I just really want to be a part of something big that helps the world, that fixes it, to just make it better. And I really, really want that. And saying these things about myself is super uncomfortable. Like, this isn't something I tell anyone, really. So maybe it's because I'm drunk, but I just really kind of want to open up right now about, like, kind of who I am as a person. I have these huge goals that just seem impossible to be met, but with all the support all of you give me and all the emails you send me, it just means so much, and it really makes me feel like I can actually do the things that I want to do with my life. And that just means the world to me, so thank you all so much. And now, the other couple things I wanted to talk about in this video is how I live my life. Because, I'm talking a lot about myself right now. I might as well just say things I've never said before, So I live my life in a way where I want every single day to be memorable. I want to, like, in 5 years, I want to look back and be like, oh yeah, I remember exactly what I did on September 20th at 5:06 a.m. I probably wouldn't get the time, but I want to be able to be like, oh yeah, I remember September 20th of 2015. Like, I just want every day to be memorable. And that's what I shoot for. Obviously, I don't always succeed at remembering every day. Like, shit, I don't remember what I did yesterday, for instance, or at least not entirely. But that's what I want. And another thing that I do for my life is I never, like, go through a day without trying something new, I guess, or trying to improve something, like juggling. Bitch, give me some fucking balls and I will juggle the shit out of them, even though I'm pretty bad at it. But I still practice. And dancing, I dance like a fucking madman, even though I'm not that great at it. But I will do that SpongeBob footwork shit. I can't exactly do any body waves, at least not very convincingly, because my elbows fucking flail around like a scarecrow, thus meaning they're very stiff. That's what I'm trying to say. So I'm not very good at that move, that maneuver, that witchcraft, that voodoo. But, I still try and learn it, because I want to be able to do, like, a lot of cool things, and go out to a club. Everyone, just form a circle around me. I'm doing head spins. I'm going in. Oh shit. Yeah. Just going, being able to do a lot of things. Alright, now this video is getting kind of long, so I'm going to wrap it up, but I want anyone watching that might be at a low point, feel beaten down and defeated, like things aren't going to get any better for them. I want you to know that I'm right there with you at that low point. But believe me, things really will get better. As hard as it is, even for me right now, you gotta stay positive and just hope for the best and surround yourself with people who care and just do new things, meet new people, and things really will get better. And sometimes even the worst situations can lead to something extremely positive that you might not have achieved if you hadn't gone through that pain. So at least that's how I think. So I just kind of wanted to open up a little bit. I mean, I've been doing YouTube for like 7 years now, and nobody knows shit about me. I mean, fuck, I just dropped my first name, which is something I never thought I would do, but that's all I'll do. I'll never do face cams. No fucking face cams. And no last name either. But yeah, that's it. See ya. Hi everyone. A question I get asked a lot is if I script any of my shit. And I don't write scripts for anything. It takes away some of the fun, in my opinion. It doesn't feel as natural when shit's scripted out, so I don't really partake in it. However, occasionally when I think of a story I want to tell, and I tell some Shakespearean tales, so there's, first act, second act, climax, and ejaculation point. So there's a lot of I want to express in a story. So sometimes I'll write down little cliff notes or spark notes on my phone, just as a little reminder to jog my memory of what things I wanted to talk about with the story. And Tiana stumbled across one of my notes. The thing is, she read some of the notes, and I thought it'd be kind of fun to look at a little behind the scenes. So here's the notes I wrote for the story I told a couple days back about how I almost turned Christmas into Shitsmas. Go ahead, Tiana, take it away. Read the notes. Show them a little bit of the creative magic.
Well, he wrote in quotation marks a line for me to say, tell me about your big shit that almost ruined Christmas.
That's a line that starts every good Christmas tale. Took a page out of Robert Frost's playbook on that one.
And then it goes, a Christmas tale Dr. Seuss wouldn't tell you. Not religious wubba-lubba-dub-dub to enlightenment.
That's a very important point I needed to make.
That he shit out all of his Christmas spirit. Didn't mean to disrespect House of Lord, but for just a moment I let the devil into my colon. Santa exercised my asshole. I was Santa, and my only present was shit. The toilet will remember that one. Jesus, babe.
I don't think you understood that line. See, the toilet will remember that one as a Telltale Games reference. Oftentimes in those awful games, it would say, X will remember that. So I kind of
Oh, like when we played, Walking Dead.
Yeah. So instead of like a character remembering some trivial decision you made, it was the toilet remembering me putting fat shits in it.
Grinch shit on Christmas. Grease and whatever found in dumpster slapped between bread, but I was so hungry I'd have eaten an asshole off of a farmer. Her dad pumping ass to church, drifting around corners. Wasn't a church, it was a battlefield.
That one is actually a play off of Alan Wake's ending. You see, when Alan Wake, it's a video game, and when it concluded, he said, it's not a lake, it's an ocean. So it only makes sense. You're not an enlightened being.
Oh, sorry, I have to play the game first.
Yeah. It's a fat, beautiful reference, though.
No poop, Christmas miracle. I'm assuming that was the grand finale, the end.
Yeah.
The be-all, the end-all be-all.
That one's closing the chapter on that story. So there's a little behind-the-scenes look of how that story came to light. I don't do that for every story, but if there's a story I think of and I don't plan on telling it for a little while, I'll write down little notes to remind me of some of the things I wanted to talk about. What's up, everybody? It's Critical. I've been getting asked the same question a lot for a long time, and I've just been avoiding it, ignoring it, because I haven't been able to figure out a way to put my thoughts into the right words to convey my feelings on the matter. After much careful thought, consideration, determination, ejaculation, and if this was a Pixar film, animation, I think I finally figured out what I want to say about this. But I should give you a fair warning, this may disturb some of you. It may make you change the way you view the world and maybe even yourselves. If your world has a lot of color and sound in it, perhaps my answer might take that away from you. So with that warning in mind, I'll proceed. Why do I like fettuccine alfredo? This isn't a question that could be answered with a simple, because it tastes good. No. This is something we're going to really have to dive into. We're going to have to take a really deep look at this one and analyze it from a very scientific standpoint. To answer why I like fettuccine alfredo, we'll have to look at the history of the fettuccine alfredo. The genesis of the Fet Al can be traced back to 1845 when Staff Sergeant Barney Riptide had just received a letter from his wife back home while he was on deployment, and she was saying how much she missed him and how much she wished she could cook for him. And then in that same letter to Barney Riptide from his wife Susan Riptide, she gave a recipe this world had never seen before, never even heard of before, hadn't seen anything like it. It was the first recipe for the world's first fettuccine alfredo. And thus, Barney Riptide, went to the mess hall, and whipped it up, and gave the world the greatest gift this world has ever received, the first fettuccine alfredo dish. With only one bite of that succulent dish, Barney Riptide knew he had stumbled upon gold. He knew what he had discovered, and what his wife had discovered, was akin to finding the fountain of youth. If this recipe fell into the wrong hands, could very well be the end of good food as we knew it. Barney Riptide knew he had an immense responsibility now. He had to patent the fettuccine alfredo technology. But alas, Barney Riptide never made it to the patent office. He was too busy enjoying his fettuccine alfredo. Word quickly spread like wildfire. People were going fucking nuts for the fettuccine alfredo. It became an urban legend. If you knew someone who could make a fettuccine alfredo, you would call them a witch. And thus began the Salem witch trials. You see, a common misconception regarding those Salem trials were that the witches were doing black magic, all types of sorcery, but what was really happening is they were making fettuccine alfredo. They were so fearful of this beautiful amalgamation of fettuccine and alfredo sauce, they didn't know what to do. They executed the heathens because they couldn't believe that something this heavenly could possibly exist without the use of magic. But some saw through this. They knew that it was only natural that this fettuccine alfredo existed in this corporeal dimension we exist in. So they took it upon themselves to make it in secret, where no one would ever know what was happening behind the scenes. And thus it began to grow even more, even faster, and the fettuccine alfredo became a very common pasta dish. The hype and history surrounding this fettuccine alfredo was lost to time, and come around 1998, when I was 4 years old, I tried my first pasta dish, the fettuccine alfredo. I wasn't told of its history, nor was I told of its remarkable taste. I was simply given it at a restaurant, and I took a bite. And that is the bite that opened my eyes for the first time. I was given my first boner that day. The fettuccine alfredo invented boners for me, and I haven't looked back since. That, ladies and gentlemen, is why I love the fettuccine alfredo. Thank you. See ya. There's a couple things I want to talk about today, so let's just dive into this shit. I recently turned 26. On August 2nd, it was my birthday. I celebrated by sticking a couple extra fingers up my butthole that night. That's not the point. The support on the channel and the streams have just been overwhelming, more than I could ever ask for, so I didn't need any birthday gifts because I truly am, as cliche as this is, beyond thankful for this support. So instead of receiving gifts, I wanted to do a backdoor reach around and change the game here, reinvent the meta, and give all of you a gift for my birthday. And that gift I'll be giving you as a little secret Santa here is video ideas. A couple video ideas I've been sitting on for a long time that I'm not going to do anything with, but for any up-and-coming aspiring content creators, maybe you could execute these ideas and it could launch your internet career. I think they're absolute bangers, I just don't really want to do them myself. So the first idea was around Halloween, where I was going to wear this blow-up doll as like a skin suit, kind of like some Ed Gein shit here. The blow-up doll kind of just right now looks like one of those ancient fish that we discover once every like decade, where it's like some prehistoric fish that looks like actual dog shit in the ocean. So the reason why I didn't do this, but I think it's a great idea, is because this blow-up doll is like wearing broken glass. Like, it's nothing but jagged edges. It's like you're trying to have sex with Lara Croft from the PS1 era. I just didn't want to blow her up and get inside because I'd probably emerge covered in lacerations. So while I do think it'd be a good idea to wear like a blow-up sex doll like this as a Halloween costume for something, it just wasn't worth the risk for me, because this would be about as painful as jumping into a jet turbine. So I mean, feel free to pursue that if you'd like. But the next one was actually a lot less dangerous. It's just I didn't feel like doing it. I even got the props I needed for it. So the idea was I bought this signed Michael Vick jersey, and it was a Christmas gift for my dogs, where I was going to wear this Michael Vick jersey and let them beat me up. Kind of as a way for dogs to get revenge on Michael Vick for what he did to them. I just thought it'd be cool to give the gift of revenge to dogs for the fucked up shit Michael Vick did. But I couldn't do this one because my dogs aren't aggressive at all, and they wouldn't even pretend to hurt me or do anything like that, and they wouldn't even destroy the jersey or anything, so the idea just wouldn't work. So yeah, I just wasted like $50 on Michael Vick's jersey, and it'll serve no purpose other than just wiping my ass with it. But anyway, those are two video ideas that I think anyone could, use and maybe find some big success with, perhaps. I figured it was worth at least putting it out there if anyone wants to try some new creative shit. But on to the next thing I wanted to talk about, and it's something that I've struggled with for a long time. I've been waging a little war with myself about whether or not to open a P.O. box, because I've always kind of liked watching the P.O. box unboxing videos, especially like iDubbbz's Bad Unboxing, and it always looked super fun. I just never felt like I'd enjoy doing it personally. Until recently during a stream, the topic came up again, and someone in the chat said, hey man, you know, I'm a vendor at a card shop. I could send you some of the unused Yu-Gi-Oh cards that we don't do shit with. And I swear to God, my eyes lit up with little twinkles in them like a child who just got told his parents aren't getting divorced. My pupils dilated, the temptation to sin became overwhelming, my asshole puckered. You know, it was like a scene out of Tom and Jerry with the devil and the angel on the shoulder. The devil was screaming, Charlie, open that fucking P.O. box, there's Yu-Gi-Oh cards ahoy. And even the angel was like, Charlie, it's a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh cards, you may want to consider this. Obviously, like a sensible man, I decided to open the P.O. box. I wasn't going to let that opportunity fall down the shitter. And it's not because I have a problem, I don't have a problem, I just happen to like some children's card games toys. Who doesn't, huh? Is it a crime to like children's trading cards? I don't think so, and if it is, then the law's wrong. How about that? Maybe I'm having a midlife crisis. What are you gonna do about it, pussy, huh? Maybe I'm gonna buy a motorcycle next and get a flaming skull tattooed on my neck. What about it? So yeah, I opened a P.O. box for some fucking Yu-Gi-Oh cards, as cool and adult as that sounds. So I decided, since I already opened the P.O. box, I'll just open the floodgates here and just publicly post the P.O. box. You're welcome to send me shit, and I'll probably do some unboxing things with it if it seems like fun. But I just thought, you know, it's already there, I might as well do something with it. And like I said, I've always enjoyed the bad unboxing videos, so just doing something even similar to that I think could be a lot of fun. Obviously, it won't be up to Ian's level when it comes to bad unboxing, but I think it'll at least be something enjoyable. Yeah, I'll put the P.O. box in the description below. Feel free to send whatever the fuck you want there. Also, I keep getting asked if I'm only going to open Yu-Gi-Oh card booster boxes and shit. The answer's no. I'll do Magic and Pokemon, fucking even porn star trading cards if those things exist. Like, sure, I'm always open to, like, opening shit like that. It's a lot of fun. But for the P.O. box, it doesn't just have to be, like, cards and shit. You can send whatever you want there for, like, some bad unboxing kind of shit. And once again, I'd like to reiterate, I don't have a problem when it comes to buying Yu-Gi-Oh shit. At least not a diagnosed addiction or anything like that for the moment. It's just a hobby. It's what I like to call it when it comes to buying Yu-Gi-Oh booster boxes is mystery investing. That's exactly what it is. And I don't like this rumor being spread that I have a susceptibility to a gambling addiction. Maybe I bought a lot of scratch-offs when I was younger, but I learned. And now I don't have a problem with gambling. I invest in some Yu-Gi-Oh boxes. It sounds pretty sensible to me. But yeah, anyway, just to wrap it all up here, I do want to give another massive thank you to just everyone for all the support recently. Like I said earlier, it has been incredible, just absolutely overwhelming on the channel, on streams. It's just been absolutely fucking wild. So really, thank you so much. And yeah, that's about it. See ya.
What's up, everybody? It's Critical. There's something I wanted to quickly dip my penis head into. I've been getting asked a lot over the last few weeks over email and other messages about how the YouTube ad boycott is affecting me. Am I still able to eat? Have I resorted to eating potato chip crumbs out of homeless men's feet webbing? And I just wanted to talk about that briefly. A lot of you know YouTube has never been a job for me, and it still isn't. So the ad boycott really doesn't do shit to me. That's the short answer to it. It's fine. All the videos I make are videos I've made purely for my own fun, not to put food on the table or anything of that nature. So I couldn't give a goat's testicle how much the videos are making. Now, just because it doesn't affect me personally, it doesn't mean I don't care about the YouTube advertiser boycott. I've made quite a few YouTube friends and it threatens their livelihood and they're going through a really rough time. And it really hurts to see the way YouTube is approaching the solution to this problem. Their approach is to drive off any content that makes anyone think, any content that is thought-provoking at all, anything that they don't agree with that advertisers may not agree with. Their solution is just get rid of it. We don't want it here. We're not going to advertise it. We're going to give advertisers an extensive list of tools that just have blanket statements that encompass a wide array of videos that should be advertiser friendly, but by YouTube's new tools, they won't be. Which will take a lot of the interesting and unique channels off of this site because it costs them money to make their videos. And their hope is they'll make more money than they put into it from the ad revenue. But that won't happen if they have rough language or any opinions that don't conform to YouTube's set list of acceptable opinions. And it's a shame. It's a real fucking shame to see YouTube going down this path.
If we were still in the Bushido times, I would say YouTube must commit seppuku because this is just downright disgraceful. This is a fucking dishonor to everything that YouTube has ever stood for. So yeah, I just wanted to quickly answer that question since it's been asked so much recently. Another one that's been asked a ton is, will I ever do full-time streams on Twitch or anything like that? Since I've done a lot of streams in the past at random times at like fucking 4 a.m. after 15 shots, 9 beers deep, and I don't even remember who I am or where I am, or if I even exist on a corporeal level in this dimension anymore. And I've gone onto other people's streams on Twitch and played games with them, and I genuinely have really enjoyed all of the streams I've done and been on. So I actually did start a Twitch channel with my friends from the official podcast. I'll put a link to that in the description. And I'm going to be streaming there quite a bit, and it's not going to be like a full-time stream, because I know some people stream like 8 hours a day or some shit like that, but it's going to be like 3 times, 4 times a week, because streaming has been a lot of fucking fun for me in the past, and we did our first live stream on that channel a couple days ago, and it was really fucking fun. So yeah, I am going to be doing Twitch streams on that channel. So yeah, I just wanted to quickly make this video to answer those 2 questions since they've been asked so much recently. So yeah, that's about it. See ya. Pretty good attempt. I'm getting closer. I'm going to sleep until I make this. Yeah! Oh, it's my closest attempt yet. Going back to the reverse hanky-spanky technique. Yeah. A lot closer. See, you're only as good as your over-the-shoulder lighter toss. I'm the best. I eat ass. The fun never ends. The amount of times I've not even gotten it out of this room is astonishing. For my city! Oh! Alright, fuck you, Tampa, I guess. Sorry. This is the one that'll put me in the history books. Why is this so hard? The lighter broke on impact that time, so I'm using a piece of Trident gum. There's no fucking way I'm gonna see that. I won't know if I made it or not. I'm using a pin now, the lighter broke on impact that time. That was a shitload better. Wow, it's a new ball game now. This one's for you, Dad. Oh, shit. They say the pin is mightier than the sword. I didn't have any way of integrating that into what I'm doing here, but I figured I might as well say that old saying. Pretty sure my chances are the same if I close my eyes. That sounds about right. I don't think I've made it onto the fucking counter yet, and I've been doing this for over 30 minutes. A little more power and I had it. The one! This is the one! Not bad. Please! Yep, getting better all the time. Have it your way, Chevrolet. Are you in good hands, Nike? Just do McDonald's. I know when that hotline bling. Oh! Oh, where'd that get? One thing. Pin in the shot glass. I'm getting really close. Get a noise complaint from the neighbors. Hey, who's playing tetherball down there? Little do they know, I'm just making a pin in a shot glass. You really wouldn't think it'd be so hard to just put it in this guy's mouth, but for some reason it is. Not a lot of wiggle room in there. In the first round, the Orlando Magic would like to select Charlie. No, I missed. Even if I do make this shot, I'm gonna feel so fucking hollow with all the time I've wasted on it. Yep. My accuracy has been slowly improving substantially. Slam dunk! Shit. Can you smell what the rock is cooking? Target locked. Three broken pins, one broken lighter later, and then I make it. I feel like a fucking cat chasing a laser pointer. Calculating. And if I make this, I better be on fucking Stanley's Superhumans. Fear not the man who has thrown 10,000 pins. Instead, fear the man who has thrown the same pin 10,000 times at a shot glass. I don't even get excited anymore when it gets on the counter. This must be what it feels like to get your shit sucked by a Dementor in the Harry Potter universe. I'm about 10 feet closer now than when I started this. Don't care, Steph Curry. I feel like turning on the TV wasn't the best idea for focusing. I thought perhaps it would ease my mind, but nope. At first this was a fun challenge, then it became a life mission. Touch the shot glass, that's the first time that's happened. We had contact last time, now we're going all the way. They call me Hawkeye. Christmas is coming early. Pretty close. My time. Dope city, population, pen and shot glass. It was at 60% when I started this. It's at 18% now. That's all I need. How did that even... I don't get it. When all you see is failure, you're probably trying to throw a pen in a shot glass. I moved the shot glass a little bit. I haven't shaved in a while. I may never shave again because I'll probably be sitting here throwing this pen at this shot glass for the next 10 years. Make America pin again. I think we're approaching an hour and a half now. Whatever. J.K. Rowling once said, practice makes perfect. Perfect practice makes Lord of the Rings. I wonder if this is close enough. I guess not. I really need a shower. I haven't showered yet. No, I just smell like failure and defeat, so I'm calling it. Why can't I? There it is. Game time. I did it.